Hello, this is part two in a series on overcoming sins, getting rid of bad habits. How do you stop doing the thing that you really don't want to do anymore? And we're in Romans chapter 6. And the first point we learned last time was that we are free from sin. It's a choice. Jesus paid the price and set us free from all sin. He has translated us out of darkness into the kingdom of his beloved Son. So when you've given the Lord your life and ask him to forgive you of your sins, he set you free from it. I'm free from all sin. I don't have a sin nature anymore. I don't want to sin anymore. I want to follow God. I want to love God. But I have a part of me that keeps doing things or doesn't want to do things. And so how do we deal with that? So that was what Paul said. Can you continue in sin just because God has grace for you? He said, no, you can't continue in sin. So after he said we're free from sin, he said, consider yourself, verse 11, Romans 6:11, consider yourself to be dead to sin, but alive to God. So think of yourself as I am connected to God. I have God's unlimited power. I have God's unlimited strength. I have God's unlimited grace. And I'm connected to a heavenly, holy, powerful thing. And I'm not alone in overcoming this. Another point that we made is that we are a three-part being. We have a body. That's just our tent. And we have a spirit. Our spirit man is our real self. And we have a mind, a will, and emotions, and that's what has to be changed and controlled. And we have a flesh nature that we have to keep under control by training it, which we'll see, hopefully, in this series. So verse 11 says, so consider yourself to be dead to sin, but alive to God. And verse 12 is our next point. So don't let sin reign in your mortal body that you should obey its lust. Don't let it reign. Don't let your body boss you around. Don't let that thing that wants to do the wrong things, don't let it boss you. Don't let it be the ruler in your life. You have to decide, what are you going to do? What are you going to obey? Do I obey that thing that I keep wanting to do that? And a good example is, eating sweets. That's a good one because we all want to quit doing sweets. So part of you is like, I want the sweets. I want the sweets. I want it now. And another part is like, no, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that. So you're deep down like, no, I have a diet. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to eat these sweets. But then part of you is crying and hollering and screaming for the sweets. Well, you have a decision to make with your mind. Your mind goes, oh, just one won't hurt. And then you do it. Or your mind says, no, I can do this. And so your mind helps make a decision. It goes back and forth. It's going to choose. Is it choosing my flesh or is it choosing my spirit? And then your emotions are in there. I'm like, oh, I don't know. If your emotions are really out of control, then you're going to yield one way or the other. So, but you have a will. So once you decide, you say, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. I want that. I want to lose that weight. I'm not doing that. Or you'll go, well, just one time, maybe tomorrow. It's the same thing. So you're choosing. You've got this battle going all the time between your flesh and your spirit. So it says, don't let sin reign. Don't obey the lust. Obey, yeah. Something is going to rule you. Either your flesh is going to rule you, which is your carnal, sinful nature. That's going to that wants to rule you, or your spirit is going to rule. And so whoever you feed the most, whoever you strengthen the most, that's who's going to be the boss. So he says, don't go presenting the members of your body as an instrument of righteousness. Don't let your hand do that thing it shouldn't do. Don't let that mouth say the thing it shouldn't say. Don't get up and go to the place you shouldn't go to. Just remember, your body's going to follow. It's just going to do whatever it's told. So you have to decide, no, I'm not going to let it do that. I'm not going to let my hand do that. I'm not going to let my mouth do that. I'm not going to go where I should. So he said, don't present the members of your body as an instrument of unrighteousness, but present yourself to God as those alive from the dead, and your members as instrument of righteousness to God. Do you want to be used by the devil? Do you want to be used by God? An instrument is just something you use, like in a band, you play an instrument. So, but you use it, you do something and you let things come out of it, where your body is an instrument. So do you let the devil use you and work through you? or do you let God move through you? And we do that by choosing. So when I choose to not say those words of strife, I'm letting God use me. Or if I speak good things and blessings and speak the word of truth, God is using me. Or if I speak ugly things and strifeful things, the devil's using me. You know, I'm gonna be one or the other. But we have to remember we are actually we're being an instrument of unrighteousness or righteousness. And he says, sin shall not be master over you, but you are not under law, but you're under grace. So you're not stuck, you're not under law. You're under grace. He said, what then? Shall we sin because we're not under law but under grace? No. So he said, if Jesus died and has given us grace to fail, grace to sin, he's going to forgive us. He said, why can't we just keep sinning? And now he's going to answer that question. And I'm going to do that in the next part 3. And I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for listening.